Even though I've been covering the slide into absurdity that has become of Doctor Who for a little over a year now, there are still times when I'm taken aback. What the hell has happened to this show? I mean, really, we're past the point of absurdity now. A year ago, I stated that if they wanted to experiment with a gender change, Chris Chibnall and friends could at least do it in a way that doesn't alienate half the fan base. They could have at least tried to integrate gender into the show without making it a central focus, or without focusing on it at all. What have we been given instead? Well, even though it's a little more than a month before the first episode airs, the franchise has already degenerated into a feminist and SJW nightmare. I mean, just look at the costume. A large portion of the show's traditional fan base has decided that they are done with Doctor Who, many of whom, including myself, have been watching for decades. We have an actress that, based on the trailer and leaked clip, is not suited to the role, and with every piece of news that comes out of the show at this point, things seem to keep getting worse and worse. We recently got a start date for this train wreck, October 7th, and at the same time we learned that the title for the first episode is, surprise surprise, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Nope, no subtlety here. Speaking of a complete lack of subtlety, let's talk about the facepalm cringe-inducing release date trailer. This trailer proves a few things. I mentioned a few times over the past year that Chibnall needed to do something to reassure the show's traditional fanbase that this show was still for them. After a year of silence on this, it looks like Chibnall has finally responded. He basically just gave us all the middle finger. Before we go into the in-your-face symbolism, what the hell is with the music? I don't even know the name of the song, and I don't care. It's some of that garbage that infests radio stations all over the world. One of the reasons why I avoid listening to the radio whenever possible. But the words, "It's glorious," is symbolic for how far up their asses with self-congratulatory BS the cast and crew of this new iteration of what once was Doctor Who is. They are all new, of course, because Chibnall got rid of literally everyone from the Eccleston, Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi eras. Can't risk any wrongthink, you know. You must be a full-fledged cult member. There's no room for objectivity here. Now, let's take a look at the overtly pathetic symbolism. Breaking the glass ceiling. In case you didn't know, the glass ceiling is an historical term which references a time over half a century ago where there were limitations placed on women in certain professions, which was unacceptable and which is now illegal. Although apparently it is perfectly acceptable to place as many restrictions as you want upon straight white males. Given the amount of time that has passed since laws were implemented in the Western world, it's highly unlikely that any woman currently in the workforce, and again I'm referring to the Western world, has ever been subjected to the glass ceiling. So stop appropriating the actual oppression of your great-grandmothers. It's just sad. There is no longer any form of glass ceiling holding women down. But there is a lead door that aims to keep those pesky straight white males out. One thing that is really sad is the self-satisfied, smug, and pompous look that Whittaker gives in this trailer. You can't even say that changing the gender of the Doctor, a traditionally male character, was really glass ceiling breaking because third-wave feminism is taking over and destroying pretty much all forms of entertainment now. I'd like to call attention to the like-dislike ratio. While we see 4,000 dislikes to 11,000 likes, which is terrible in itself, I have to wonder if something fishy is going on here. I've been following the comment section over the past few days, and it seems that there have been a lot more negative comments than positive comments. At the same time, it seems that these comments are disappearing almost as quickly as they are put up. One must wonder, as pathetic as the score is the actual score much worse? Is there some funny business going on here? Just saying. What we can take away from this trailer is a confirmation that the show is now about social justice and third-wave feminism, whether we like it or not. One factor that has become clear during this social justice takeover is that they have no concern whatsoever for making a profit. Their numbers are not large enough to make anything succeed. What they are doing is actively taking over long-established franchises and then destroying them to push their own twisted agendas and ultimately leaving these franchises in ruins. The only light in the tunnel is that this can't go on in perpetuity. The entertainment business exists to make money, and at some point, we can only hope they'll see the light. And we can only hope that everything that's happened in the entertainment industry since about 2015 becomes a distant and horrible memory. But, as I've said before, the profit motive doesn't really apply to Doctor Who, thanks to the license fee. Doctor Who went off on a left tangent in 2015 with Series 9, and it's been getting worse ever since. This iteration of the show will not go back to the way it was. regardless of how much it may lose. The people in charge, both behind and in front of the cameras, are only there to stoke their own egos, and they don't care what happens to this show. Again, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Something tells me that I'm going to have no shortage of material over the next few months. It's not so much that you've broken a glass ceiling, it's that you've broken a franchise and fan base that's been around since 1963. A franchise that used to mean so much to so many people. Shame on you. And that's it for today. Don't forget to follow me on my recently revived Twitter account and subscribe to my new second channel, Bowlestrek Media, which is where I've moved my Blu-ray and technology videos to. So, as always everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.